Okay, HVAC services. What do you charge? I mean, the common questions I'm hearing is, well, what should I charge for my service? What do you guys charge for maintenance? What do you charge for a change out of a system that costs this amount? How much profit should I be charging? Guys, this is Pete with HVAC Greatness. I'm putting on a webinar next week. So if you're catching this, your timing's good. And we're going to go into a very powerful tool that we've created here that is very easy to use, and we've tweaked it so that even the little guys can modify their numbers and stay on top of what they should be charging. Now, there's a number of factors that goes into charging, but let me just give you an overview here of what this particular document looks like. Now, we're going to have a list of key information. We're going to fill in all the fields that are key here, but essentially we're looking at your company's total sales projections, and we base that on history and to some extent what's happening in the market right now, and we'll break it up by replacement department, service department, and even new construction if you're doing those types of projects. You don't have to be. And what we do is we come in and we actually calculate things like your direct cost per man day. This little formula is very powerful. Like I said, you're gonna love this. So I have a team here, a lead installer and a helper. I calculate their workers' compensation rate with the taxes that the company has to match. We look at inefficiencies such as vacation days, holidays, paid sick days, and benefits like a 401k. And then we have an inefficiency factor. And so we blend that so that our crew day is derived from this averaged man day. And we know exactly what our overtime and our standard direct cost per day is, no matter what the scenario. So in this case, we're at 33% burdened pay. We do the same thing for service, and we have these broken up. But fundamentally, where we arrive at is something like this. So if we come into an installation here, and let's say we do add up all of our stuff, and we have about a $4,000 worth of equipment on this. Once this company's numbers are plugged in, all we do is pop in here, and you'll see here that this is already populated. $4,000. We've got commission rate in here if you pay a commission, 0.08%. So if you pay a commission, we've got that in there. We've got financing, whatever those figures end up being. So my truck is going to be sitting on that job for 1 day. I've got 2 man days, 2 men 1 day. And then we have our overhead built in there. I know exactly what my break even is on this job, right to the dollar. There it is, $6,628, because I know I built in a contingency on my equipment purchases. I've got the sales tax covered. You put your individual sales tax here. I've got a warranty reserve built in. I've got truck expense. I've got everything, the variable, the fixed. I've got it all covered. And then I've got all these different scenarios. Well, what is the market's price for this? And what kind of a net profit does that look like? It lets you know what your wiggle room is. And let's say that the going rate is a 40% GP on that, so that this particular job is going to be about $9,000, which is what this is. This company could sell that and they would make a net profit of 26.35% or $2,371.60. But that's not what they have to sell it at. You see, we have a commission rate to factor in, we have financing to factor in, so it even tells us our final price down here. This is a $10,231.58 job. After we pay the commission, after we pay the financing fee, the company gets what it has to have in order to make the profits that it needs to make, right? And so that we have our gross profits that are calculated as well as our overhead burden on this particular example. Really that easy. So all we have to do is come in. We can do the same thing on service. I'll give you an example here. So let's say we have a $200 motor and we go over into the flat rate on that, $200, everything's figured in there. You could put commission in there if you want. We did add financing because we're doing a lot of these equipment system refurbs because a lot of people can't afford to replace their equipment. They're just going to rebuild the system that they have that's getting popular. And so we can finance those types of things if need be. So $200 on the part, all the contingencies, warranty reserve, everything else. Our truck in service is by the hour. So this is a 1 hour repair. This is a 1 hour labor. We've got everything calculated in here with our overhead. The break even on this particular motor is $532.45. Here's our different scenarios. If we're shooting for a 30% GP, we're going to be somewhere in this range right here. Let's say 775. And there it is. We got a 31.3% net profit. So what we have to do is look at our different scenarios and see where our numbers need to be in our particular market. Now, here's the tricky part. As the old KPIs of typically you have this many change outs and this many repairs in a certain ratio, as they start to shift and we see a movement more over towards repairs and other types of jobs, we have to change our strategy. But we also have to change these numbers right back here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to look at how much of our overhead is now was coming from installation and now needs to come from service. And we need to move these numbers around. And once we do that, any changes that we make in here, let's say our service becomes 30% right there, and our installation is down to 50, our new construction is down to 50%. Boom, we go back to that same price, and guess what? It just changed. Right now, we're only making 22%. We're not making 31%. Right, we're still making a profit, $177, but we've moved our overhead over because we're needing to pull more out of the service department. As you can do that on the fly. Right, so once you know what a burden it is to create all these numbers. Once you do this, it's a pain in the rear to redo this. Now, does this leak right into a price book that's already done for you? No, but I've got something that I think is going to help you on that, especially you little guys. I'm going to show you how to build your own. Now, this particular program is not for rent. It is yours to have forever. Okay, it's just part of the workshop. So come on in. We're going to walk you through. It's a 3-day workshop, 2 hours each day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Next week, and the program is normally $997. I'm going to put a coupon code in this particular video at the bottom. Look down the description at half off. Well, $500 off, $497. But I'm going to tell you, it's worth every penny. You'll lose that much in the first pricing error if you don't have your pricing right, or you'll make that back up in the one that you do. Pete Ramsey here, HVAC Greatness. Hope to see you in the live session. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.